Don't act up.
Hello, and welcome to another segment of the LPE Author Chat Series. I am Kimberly K. LaBoo, CEO and founder of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. Welcome to another session of our special anthology segment for Set Apart and Chosen. God does, oh my gosh, I forgot the title. It's one of those things. Set Apart and Chosen. God uses ordinary women to do extraordinary things. There we go. So this has been a segment where I've been highlighting the authors of that book. And so this is a special pop-up session that wasn't in the rest of the lineup. We saved Miss Lisa M. Jones for you guys on today. So let me tell you about her. Lisa M. Jones is a transformational leader, skillful coach, strategic educator, influential philanthropist, successful businesswoman, and world-renowned inspirational speaker. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Jules Jones and Associates, where she has leveraged over 25 years of business knowledge to educate others in the area of personal development, business strategy development, and financial literacy. As a result of Lisa's innovative leadership, business and financial coaching, individuals, teams, and organizations are inspired to maximize their fullest potential, reach their financial goals, and execute their dreams. Lisa M. Jones is dedicated to affecting and infecting people so that their lives transform from vision to reality. She is an impactful change agent whose experiences include facilitating professional learning for government agencies, including but not limited to Voice of America, General Services Administration, Environmental Protection Agency, and Food and Drug Administration, and being their keynote speaker at over 150 leadership schools nationwide. Lisa M. Jones' journey to greatness exemplifies that success is a journey and not a destination. Through the journey, Lisa desires to inspire others with her walk, encourage them with her talk, and elevate them with her giving. Lisa M. Jones, welcome to the broadcast.
Wow, thank you so much. It's so great to be here. My friend that's in Hawaii.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to have you on the broadcast. You know, I just love you to pieces. So thank you so much, because I know you are a super busy woman. So I don't take it lightly that you have taken time out of your schedule to spend a little time with me and our viewers. So thank you for that.
It is truly my pleasure.
Thank you. So you are one of 20 authors in the anthology Set Apart and Chosen. God uses ordinary women to do extraordinary things. And your chapter you penned is titled Another Level. So first, let me ask you what I've asked all the others. What made you say yes to being a part of this project?
Well, I can be honest on this, right? I can be who I am, right? I don't have to be all special, do I? Okay, great. What made me say yes is you. So I know you're not a foolish woman. You're a woman of integrity and great character. And so I didn't have to think twice about it. There's certain people that's in your life that when they say something, you immediately respond. And then there are some that when they say something, you better go do some research. So initially it was you, and then the second thing was the title is amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. And I just love it. And then the third thing was that looking at the other authors, I say if Kimberly picked them to co-author the book, then she must trust them. And so, because you want to associate yourself with the right people. Yeah. And so they were the three things that I considered in when I looked at your invitation.
Wow. Thank you. I feel honored. Thank you so much. So you, Lisa M. Jones, have the God-given ability to transform lives every single time you open your mouth. So I have been blessed personally with the opportunity to travel with you on several occasions. I don't even know how, but I've just been able to witness just the respect that people give you just at the mention of your name. And aside from that, like, you are one of the most kindest and most humblest women I know. So tell me about what makes you you. Like, give me a little bit of the background and insight into who Lisa M. Jones is.
Well, she's a woman that just trusts God. I can tell you, it's my faith. I'm so honored. You know, people ask me, how do I feel about my life sometimes, and or they're, about what's going on. And I say, I'm just so honored. Like, God chose me, and I'm so grateful that I had ears to hear. So Lisa is, her strength comes when she operates in Him. On my own, I'll mess it up. On my own, I'm not as strong. In Christ, I'm strong. And so my faith keeps me. I am a woman of faith. If God said it, I believe it, So often I find people believe in Him, but don't really believe Him. Well, I'm childlike. I believe in Him and I believe Him. I'm like a child. God, you said. I'll go to Him and say, Lord, you said. It's like you going to mom and dad and say, Mom, you said I can have this. That's how I am with God. I said, God, you said it. You said if I asked you that it should be done. So I'm childlike when it comes to my faith and my Creator. And so that's who she is. She's a woman that walks in total faith. I'm telling you. No better than nobody else, other than the fact that it's my faith that keeps me through everything.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. So let's talk about your chapter a little bit.
Ooh.
Your chapter's titled Another Level. And you opened your chapter saying, when God said this year, you will go to another level, I had no idea it would come in the form of cancer.
My God.
So first, I want you to tell us a little bit about what your life was like prior to the diagnosis.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I call it my Job experience when I went through that process. But prior to that, I traveled all over. I've been on stages in front of 10 people and stages in front of 50,000 plus people.
Wow.
As an MVP, as I've been so, gosh, my goodness, when I think about the things I've been exposed to, I've been all over. People book me to speak, and I did workshops for the government. And so I've had the signs being held up at the airport. I used to admire that. And when the first time it happened for me, I was amazed. I've had the red carpet rolled out and so on. And so I have an amazing organization as a money coach. I have a lot of clients that just have great relationships with. I'm not just their agent, but I have a relationship with them. I have the most powerful inner circle. People, I remember someone saying, I never fool with women. I never fool with too many women because women messy. I said, men messy. Women messy, men messy. People messy. But I'm so amazed that messy people don't come into my life. So you have to ask yourself, why do messy people come in yours? Because I have some of the most amazing women friends. And I have some of the most amazing men friends. So I have an amazing inner circle. So that was my life. That's my life. And so prior to that diagnosis, everything was just wonderful. Mm-hmm. Income, whatever I want, go where I want. Everything was just wonderful. And then.
Yeah, we were talking about the and then. So it just sounds like, so talk a little bit about your love for affirmations, because you wrote about that in your chapter 2. And you said, you can train your mind to believe whatever you want. I started to believe everything I was saying. It all starts in the mind. Change your mind and you will change your bank account, your friends, and your zip code. And so that's kind of what you were living by. So talk a little bit, because it sounds like affirmations were big for you even before all of this happened?
Affirmations, language is everything. And the word of God says the power of life and death is in the tongue. Well, if that is so, and I'm going to try God by his word. So if that is so, then I'm going to speak great things about myself. Because when I decided to be an entrepreneur, I had very low self-esteem and single mom with a 6-year-old child. And so I had to change my language. And so I started doing these affirmations, and I remember saying, I'm going to be on the cover of magazines and on TV screens. I'm going to be the most sought after speaker in all the world. I will make decisions based on my desires and not based on my bank account. I will not chase money. Money will chase me. I build the most amazing relationships. I attract the most amazing people. And so I travel the beaches of the world, and I would just say that when I didn't have two pennies to rub together. And so eventually I start acting like the person I was speaking. At first, when you're doing those affirmations, it tastes nasty coming out of your mouth because you know they're not true. And then eventually you start believing because the subconscious mind don't know the difference between reality.
You got so excited. I don't know, something.
I didn't see you say, oh no, and then you disappeared.
That's right. The enemy just mad. You go ahead and speak life.
So, so for speaking those affirmations, when Success Magazine called to feature me on the cover, I spoke that when I was contacted to meet with Les Brown and meet with Oprah and start a talk show. I mean, all kind of contacts were coming in. People was reaching out for me. But those are things that I spoke. And so the power of life and death is truly in the tongue. Affirmations is everything. And so when I find myself questioning and doubting, I realize that I haven't done my affirmations like I need to.
Wow. Yeah. So I wanted you to share that because I know that that's a big part of who you are. And so I want people to get the sense of, just your life, your vibe, sort of, as we talk about this, because it just sounds like, post this, before this, you had it all figured out. Everything was going well. Like you said, everything was wonderful. And you even wrote, you said, success doesn't start or end with money. True success is in one's mindset. And it was a requirement to work on all 5 areas. Once I understood the requirements to gain growth, I became consumed with living a life of order and success. The more I grew mentally, the more my activity and my business grew. So like you were at the top of your game, right?
Absolutely.
And so then comes 2011. And you said, God said to me that this would be my year to go to another level. You thought that meant financially, right? Like you were like, this is my year. I'm going to open another shop. I'm going to, my bank account's going to grow. But then, so tell us about the but then.
But then, it's every beginning of the year I start a fast and really meditate on what I want and what God wants from me for the year. And so, I was fired up and had a session with my mentor, and my mentor said to me, I want you to not travel as much this year. Why don't you host events locally and have people come speak for you? You're planting so many seeds, you have favor. They'll fly in to speak for you. So I'm thinking, absolutely, it's going to be amazing. He said, let people serve you. Let people wait on you for a while. And I was like, okay, all right, excellent. I'm coachable to my mentorship. And so, but then I started getting sick. And I remember going to Georgia for my daughter's birthday in April, and I was sick the whole time. I couldn't sleep. I paced the floor, and this pain in my pelvic area, my stomach. And so I flew home on April the 4th on her birthday, and I got off the airplane, went straight to the emergency room, and they said, all your vitals are off. You need to go see your doctor. I went to see my doctor that Wednesday, And then by that Thursday, he called me and said, "You have cervical cancer." So I went from well to sick. And it made no sense. And he was like, "I do my checkups regular." He was like, "I don't know. I'm so sorry how this happened. Is like, you need to go to a specialist." And it turned out to be stage 4 cervical cancer. I went downhill fast. It was like, just got extremely sick. And it was truly like a Job experience. It was like the enemy was like, "Of course she love you. She make 2% of the people in the country make the money she make. Only 2% of the people make the income I make. She acknowledged you on every stage. She's happy. Let me try her."
Ugh.
And it's like God said, "You can try her, but you can't kill her."
Ooh.
And I'm like, "Lord, you created a story in my as they call it, from hood to good story, but
Yeah.
I already had a story. Did you have to add to my story, Lord? I didn't need you to add anything else to my story." So it was truly a Job experience. And at that time, I don't know, because I went through so much warfare that, I was so sick that I actually put my funeral together.
Wow.
I didn't feel like I would come through it. I didn't want my daughter, my parents to worry about that. So I started planning my funeral. And I just, 1 week I lost my sight and I couldn't walk. And I mean, it just got worse. My whole body was itching. It was just like a Job, a real life, modern day Job experience. Like my whole body was itching. And then I couldn't go to the bathroom. And I was going through weeks of different stuff happening to me. And I had to come through that.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I remember it. I just remember. I remember when you told me, and I just was shocked because I had seen you, going from here to there. You're traveling, you're speaking, like you said, like everything was going great. And so, for as hard as it hit you, I'm sure it hit those of us around you, because I just remember when you told me, and I just was speechless. And I remember the days of you being so stubborn and not wanting anybody to drive you to doctor's appointments and all. I'm like, "Lisa, I can come get you." Like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, you're killing me."
My mentor was like, "Even in your distress, you're concerned about other people." Because I didn't tell anybody for a while. I didn't tell my family until before I was going into surgery. My mentor was like, "You have to tell your family." When you're the go-to person, it's very difficult to tell somebody you're weak. It's very difficult to tell somebody you're in need, because I was so used to being there for everybody else. So even while I was in agony, I was still going and training my agents, leaning on the podium, hemorrhaging. And nobody knew but Andrea Jackson in my office. So she the only one knew, so she would help me to the chair. I didn't tell the agents. So family, I didn't tell Shanina. She was living in Georgia. I didn't want to call her out of state and tell her. I didn't want to tell my parents. So family was like, "Oh, you're going to have to tell somebody because you're about to go have major surgery."
Wow.
So I kept it a secret. And that's why I tell John Maxwell said, it's easier to go from failure to success than it is to go from excuses to success.
Wow.
I did not use having cancer as an excuse to quit or to not work, or I just never used it as an excuse. And so often people are looking for excuses.
Wow. Man, so one of my favorite parts of your story is, and I told you, I was like, "Yeah, make sure you put this part in the book," is when you were going to tell your family and you demanded that nobody cry.
Oh my gosh. It was so God, even with, one of the things I was praying for at one point in my life, deliverance from pride. And it's so amazing how things can raise back up. And I had so much pride. Here I am, body is hemorrhaging, stage 4 cancer, but I still, had all this pride. And so I remember when I left the hospital and I text my sister and say, I have cancer. And that was like the worst thing I could have done. She was at work crying and so on. I said, but don't tell anybody. So she didn't tell anybody. So then one day I'm at my mom's house and all my siblings are downstairs. They're playing Pokino and laughing, and I'm upstairs sick. I don't want them to see me. So I'm in my room at my parents' house. We always go to our parents' house when we don't feel good. And so I text her and said, okay, you can tell them, but tell them not to call me and tell them I better not hear anybody crying.
And then you listened to make sure.
And then I went to the top of the steps. It was like my ear. Then I stopped listening because it got extremely quiet. And so I know they was crying down there, but they wasn't gonna let me hear it. And nobody called me that day. And I didn't want to keep saying it.
Yeah.
I
get it. I get it. I just thought that was so, you was like, I said nobody cried. And then you had the nerve to go listen to make sure they didn't.
Make sure they wasn't crying. I didn't want to hear anybody say it.
Oh my gosh, he's such a bully sometimes.
I know, isn't that something?
Always bullying somebody. We love you to pieces, though. Man. And so you made it through all of that. You took some drastic steps to improve your health. And so I watched you walk through all of that, and God is a miracle worker, because when I see you now, knowing everything that you've been through, and that whole next level thing, you talked about something, share that what you wrote about the next level. So you made it through all that, and you said the next level came in the form of cancer, but my relationship with Christ increased, my compassion for others increased, my faith increased, my discernment increased, and my wisdom increased. I was a new creation. I fell in love with God all over again. God healed my mindset, my body, and my heart. I started seeing life through a new lens. I became vision rich and execution rich. It was a new day. So talk about.
I wrote that.
You wrote that.
That sounds great. I'm always amazed at that. When you go back later and read it, or when I listen to myself speak, I'm like, I said that. That was so God inspired, because I don't remember. That is so amazing.
You are hilarious. So talk about what happened when you made it through. So you just shared a little bit about that, but talk about what your walk has been like since then and all of the amazingness since then.
It's so amazing. I was very angry at first, Kimberly. I was angry. I was so angry at getting cancer. I was never angry at God. I was like, what did I do? I was so angry with myself. When I told my story in anger. And it's so amazing how God gave me wisdom with that. And I remember I was just speaking at an event the other day, and I said on the stage, don't tell your story too soon, because your fruit is not ripe yet.
Wow.
And so when people want to tell their story, I said, please, you're still in it. Mm-hmm. You can't tell it while you in it, meaning it still have you, right? Yeah. And so like the prophet said, my body is here in jail, not my mind. I know how to abate and how to abound. I know how to live with and how to live without. Well, in the beginning, my body had cancer and my mind had cancer.
Wow.
And I was angry about having cancer. And then in writing my first book is what helped me through it.
Yeah.
Because what I realized is that my language was foul. I was messed up. and I was under so much warfare. So I had to change my language. And that's when God took me to the Tower of Babel. And that's when I went to the next level. Because they was going to build this tower. You could not convince this group of people that they weren't going to build this tower, right?
Right.
And so God said, look at man. Look at him. Whatever man put his mind on, it will not be denied him. Whatever, right? And so I said, Lisa, your mind was on dying. Your mind was not on healing.
Wow.
Your mind wasn't on living. You're not telling the story with praise. You're telling the story with sorrow.
Wow.
And so now I have that ear where I can hear when people pray, if they still praying and they in it, or they rejoicing because they out of it. Not that the situation has cleared up, but it no longer have them there.
Wow.
So when I came out of it, was in my writing for 1 week. I sat in my room. It took me years. I couldn't get this book finished. I finished this book in 1 week. And that's when I was talking about the Tower of Babel. He took me to that on the mental prosperity mindset. And I had to change my language. And then I started looking at, he brought me through. He brought me through stage 4 cancer.
Wow.
You better be rejoicing telling this story, girl. It could have went the other way. You better get over your anger. So I started celebrating and I became better. When I started going to speaking again, events again, people was looking for a sick Lisa M. Jones.
Wow.
So when I walked in the room, I didn't look sick. And they were like, Lisa, is that you? They could not believe it. And I started rejoicing, and I went to my discernment. I mean, my relationship with Christ became you. I know the enemy must be upset. It's like she was never supposed to be more excited about you. You know what I mean? I became more excited about God and more excited about spreading his word and taking the good news to the people. And then my career just went, I mean, he took me like it just started growing in favor galore. Because why? I never blamed God. It's like Job's wife said, you still praising him? Yeah. Curse him. And he said, no, he's a good God. I still rejoice and thank God. I blamed me for having cancer. You know what I'm saying? And so he took me to a whole nother level. Now I feel like I can conquer the world, you know? Yeah. It's amazing. It is amazing.
Yes, that's because you can conquer the world. With that mindset, you can conquer the world. Yeah. I love it. I just love to just hear you talk. Like I could talk to you all day because it's so uplifting and so encouraging. And like I said, I've seen you go into rooms and just transform minds. And I think it's incredible. So to our viewers, we have lots of viewers on here right now. People are commenting. They say they still praising, but to our viewers, if you didn't share the broadcast, make sure you share the broadcast. If you want to read Lisa's amazing chapter and all the other phenomenal women that are in this project, this book is just phenomenal. I think like we're number 13. When I got on the broadcast, we were number 13 on the bestseller list. So tell people, Lisa M. Jones, tell people to go download this book right now.
Girl, it's amazing. Like I was so behind, and thank God for Dr. Tashika Green because she holds me together. And so, but I thought I shared it on my page, but it was on lock. And so now I'm getting all these messages of people that they ordered their books and they're download their books. They've read it already. They say they post a message on Amazon. So this book is going to get a lot of views, a lot of orders, and my following will definitely support this book. And it's amazing. And I'm so honored to be among so many amazing women, great women. And I can't wait to read their stories. Yeah. I know it's going to be life-changing. And What an amazing month to release this book in Women's History Month.
Yeah.
So I'm just like so excited about that. I'm going to host a women's vision board party, a big vision board party for women in the DMV area. And so this book is going to be, I got to order several copies because we're going to have several copies of this book there for them to purchase and so on. So this is our book for the month. For my organization, and then we're going to have this book as the book for the vision board party. So it's just going to be amazing. So I'm honored to be among so many awesome people, so many awesome writers, someone new, I'm sure, some I've written before. It's going to be awesome to read their stories.
Amen. You will be blessed because I'm telling you, I mean, first of all, my mom's in the book, like, right?
Yes, Mother Laverne is in the book. She is the funniest lady ever. I love Mother Laverne. I can't wait to read her story. How great is that?
You did a phenomenal job. I'm just super, super proud of her. I mean, all of you guys really poured your heart out into this. And, you know, I know we started this in mid-November and I had a deadline by the end of December. Like I was pulling and tugging on you guys, but I wanted it to be released in this month of March, Women's History Month, because I just felt like there were so many women that they are not celebrated. And they're not looking for the celebration. That's one of the important things. They're not looking for the celebration, but they were ordinary women who walked through something, and God decided to use their lives because they were open to that call, though. And so that's what this book was about, bringing together those women who have availed themselves to that call. And so I'm just so honored to have all of you. Like all of you are just phenomenal women, extraordinary women. I can't wait to celebrate with you guys in a couple of weeks in Maryland. That's going to be bananas. But I'm just super excited. I thank you for taking time. I know we over our time. I'm taking up your time. But I just wanted the people to hear from you and hear you talk about your amazing chapter, your amazing life, and just share you with them. So thank you so, so much. So before we go, I want you to tell us what would you say to the person that's contemplating writing? They've been saying for years, I'm going to write a book, and they just haven't done it. What advice would you have for them?
We were created for a purpose on this earth. And our life, God wants our life to be an example for other people to get through. So often I talk to folks that are going through, and the enemy has a way of making them feel isolated in their situation. And that's why I'm so honored to be a part of this project, because, I was calling you and it's like, can you read some of the chapters to me? Guys, I was trying to get her to read me y'all stories ahead of time. She would not share it. I don't understand. And so I was up all late at night and I just wanted to read y'all chapters. I don't know why she wouldn't let me read them, but and I was like, well, share some of the stories. And you was like, no, Lisa M. Jones, but we gotta get the message out of our belly and put it on paper. We got to get it out of our heads and our hearts and put it on paper, because other people breakthroughs are in our story. And I remember when I was like, I'm not telling my story anymore. And God convicted me and he said, that's not your story. That's my story. I created that story. That's mine. And for the rest of your days on this earth, you would tell your story. And, my company said, your story is the most used story in the whole company. You would tell your story of how you went from a single mom with no car and developed the success that you have developed. You would tell your story to everybody, because there are breakthroughs in your story. Lives are being transformed through your stories. Chains are being broken through your story. People belief levels are going to a new level through your story. Folks are receiving salvation through your story. Your stories are touching lives, especially when you understand God's hand in it. Okay, some people don't tell your story. Some of y'all don't tell your story, but when you came through your stuff, you tell your story. When it has a positive, you can find the positive and the praise in it. Then you tell it. Okay? I always tell people, I'm not called to be on the pulpit. I'm called to be out there. I'm called to be among the people. And for the rest of my days on this earth, if I could touch but one life, then my life will not be in vain. So for the rest of my days on this earth, I will be traveling all over the world and telling the stories. God loves stories. He told stories throughout the Bible. I remember stories. It's the best. Tell your story. Write it down. Start journaling and write down. I always say, I'm not a writer. I just get it out of my head and my heart and I put it on paper. And I said, let it do what it do, God. You know what I mean? Get it out of your head and heart and put it on paper. So Kimberly is a writer. I'm really not a writer, but I would be co-authoring 2 books. I'm finish up co-authoring Dr. Tashika book, finish my book, and write it, and then I have my own anthology that you're publishing. Man, this all in this year. Who would have thought? How can you be so bold to do that? That is awesome. Ain't nothing but God. So tell your story. I'm so proud of y'all for telling y'all story. God is good. Anyway, did you ask me? Is that the question you asked me? I forgot the question, girl. So I'm excited.
We can tell. He's so funny.
Yeah, because people need deliverance. There's so much negativity going on out here. And and listen, if you're not reading, then you're operating on old information.
Oh.
So you have to get books. You have to read. Faith comes from hearing. You got to feed your ear gates and your eye gates. So you have to be reading to get through this thing called life. Because we live in this world, like Christopher says, the best of times and the worst of times. There's some stuff going on out here. You better be reading stuff so you can have the tools you need to get through certain situations. Everything can't always be a surprise. Oh, I'm surprised this happened. I can't believe this happened. How old are you? You're 40 years old. You surprised? So if you read some books, you won't be surprised. It's in a book.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
So
at least you are right.
Book, right? There's some deliverance in this book, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I always say that there is healing through writing. And like you said, our stories are not for us. And so the fact that we 20 women came together to pen our stories, there is somebody's healing that's waiting on our story. And we have been getting so many already testimonies and feedback and reviews are already being posted about how transformational this book is. And so this thing, it grew wings. This is a God project. And I have no idea what God intends to do with it, but he pulled us all together for a reason. There are 20 diverse stories in this book that are going to impact people's lives. And I just think it's incredible. So yeah, so thank you for encouraging
people to know each other. Right. You can tell God's hand in it. I can't wait to read because I'm so analytical. So I pick up stuff that some people don't look for in the format and the flow is something I will be looking for. And I know it's going to be right because I know you're a woman of excellence. And so, but I can't wait to read the flow of it and seeing God wave and the flow of it and the spirit going through it. I can't wait to read that.
Yeah. It's there.
We don't even know each other.
Right. And somebody posted, that this book was so well written. And so, and that's all about what you just said. It's the Holy Spirit working through all of that in the way that it is put together, from the placement of the authors, the stories, the flow, just like you said, is there. So you will enjoy it. You will enjoy it.
Yay.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to download my stuff and read it and order my copies. I didn't have to send you an email for how many copies I want. Yeah, so I need to get my copies of the book. Yeah.
But it's just phenomenal. So I thank all of the authors and especially, for you taking your time out to be a part of this project, because I just know it's going to be life-changing. And so I thank you. I just thank you.
Well, I didn't have a choice because you bullied me into it. So I didn't have a choice but to say yes, because you can be a bully too.
I asked nicely, but I didn't.
Yeah, it'd be nice, but it'd be this nice, like do it now. Like as my publisher, do it. I don't have this yet anyway, but it's awesome. So let me just say, can I say something?
Yes,
let me just say to you, I am proud of you for LaBoo Publishing Company. I am proud of what you are doing. And so many people are going to be using your company as the resource that they need to get the messages out. And so that's just I don't even know how you work in a job. Like, for real, I can't see you being there by the end of this year, because there's so many people that's going to come to you to help them publish their books. We need more books. We need more books.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that more than you know. More than you know. All right, guys. We are way past time, so we're going to get off of here. Have people stand up.
We don't have nowhere to go. Tell them, guys, we're not past time. Mary, I need to talk to you, but we're not past time. I need to talk to Mary. I need you to send me Mary's phone number. Yeah, but we're not past time. Guys, tell her we're not past time just because she in Hawaii. She trying to go to the beach. But anyway.
Let's see why I love this lady so much and why I wanted to share her with you guys. It's always an honor and a pleasure. And we are going to let these good people go. We have lots and lots of viewers. But thank you so much, Lisa M. Jones, for being a part of this broadcast, for being a part of this amazing book. And I can't wait for people to read your chapter. Guys, you need to download the book tonight. Tonight is the last book. I did it for midnight Hawaii Standard Time. So that gave y'all 5 extra hours on the East Coast to download this book for $3.99. But after tonight, the price increases. So if you want to download it, go ahead and read. Leave us some reviews. Let us know what you think. People are posting the link in the chat, in the comments. So you can look for the link there, click it, download the book. And we're looking to hit #1 by the end of the night. And I believe that we can do that because God has just done some amazing things with this book already. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Lisa, you finished? You got anything else you need to say?
There's only one #1, and that's us. We're going to hit #1.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah. All you got to do is go on your page and tell some folks, and they'll listen to you.
Yeah, I had to make it public. I had it sent just to me. That's all right. Several of my people got it already.
Good. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much to our viewing audience for tuning in to another session of the LPE Author Chat series. This was our special anthology edition, and this is our wrap up to that series. And we thank you so much for joining us. And as always, if you are thinking about writing your book, let us help you to turn your dream of being a published author into a reality. Visit us at www.laboopublishing.com. Thank you, guys. Take care and be blessed. Good night. Say good night, Lisa.
Good night. Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.